I'm sitting alongside Alyssa Baker, who is the Vice President for Public Relations candidate for SGA next year. Alyssa, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm doing really good.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Now tell me about your involvement in SGA so far.
Yeah, so I joined SGA when I was a sophomore, so I'm a junior right now. I ran the end of freshman year. I was elected as a senator, and then beginning of my junior year, I ran as the vice president, and then I got pulled up to be the junior class president. So I've kind of gotten a feel of everything in SGA so far, and that's why I kind of wanted to take the step up to E-Board.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the initiatives that you've worked on?
Okay, so when I was a freshman, or when I was a sophomore, I worked on a charging station initiative. So if you see charging stations in the library, that was something that I implemented there. I've also worked on trying to get like a recycling machine at Quinnipiac, so I worked a little bit on that, and then it kind of gotten pushed back with COVID. I also this semester was very heavily involved in working on like boost improvements and transact improvements. So every week I would get improvements, suggestions from students, and I would bring them to the dining advisory board meetings, and I would email Leanne Evangelist and be connected with her a little bit. And I also worked on a spring involvement slideshow, PowerPoint, kind of thing that had all of the student organizations would have their own slide, and it would kind of have information about how you can join the club, and this was sent out to all of the students at Quinnipiac. So it was just a way for students to get involved in the spring semester, since we weren't able to have like a spring involvement fair, and since a lot of students went remote, so I wanted them to have opportunities to get involved in the spring. So.
Yeah. Now, as Vice President of Public Relations, what would you do that would make SJ more transparent to the student body?
I definitely think social media is like a very big part of the Vice President of Public Relations job. And I think not just only Instagram, I think that a lot of other social media platforms would be beneficial to use, like YouTube, Twitter, just like keeping everyone updated, even if you don't have that certain social media platform. And I think just like honestly update, just everything that we're doing, tell people about it. People want to know what's going on behind the scenes, and I think that just letting them know honestly would be like the best way to be transparent, and not even worrying about like bombarding people with posts, like just post, because people want to see it and people are going to read it, and they just honestly, people just want to know what's going on. So
yeah. Would you think about maybe creating a TikTok account? I feel like a lot of people are using that.
Yeah, I like TikTok. I'm very involved with TikTok, so I think that would be a good idea, and I think that would be something that we can implement even to like the committee, the Public Relations Committee, and have them kind of run it, just so it's not just like a one-person job. All of the students on the committee could run it and post on it and make it, unique to student government and stuff. So.
Now, what sets you apart from the other candidates?
I think for me, probably I'm very creative, I'm experienced. I have my own small business, so I'm very experienced with like public relations, like promoting and publicizing. I think that's kind of giving me like a step up from the other candidates. I think that I'm very driven. If I set my mind to something, I'll get it done. And I'm very dedicated to student government. Student government's like kind of been my passion at Quinnipiac, so if I'm going to run for this role, I'm going to put my all into it, and I'm going to make it the best that it can be.
So what are you running on? What's your platform? How can students know more about what you plan to do next year? Yeah, so my platform, like I said before, transparency, just getting people updated on what's going on in student government. I like for them to know like how hard we're working, what we're working on to help students and all of that. I also think another thing that's important is like highlighting students around campus. So I know we do like a Bobcat of the Month right now, but even doing like smaller ones weekly would be even nice too, like kind of doing like a student spotlight each week. And I think also something that I wanted to do was tabling a lot. So each week we would have like one day committed to tabling outside the student center, getting some initiative ideas, maybe even doing like a small giveaway for students, like to give some initiative ideas that they can work on, just so we're really hearing from the student body, because not all students have social media. So I think it's important to do like in-person like outreach as well. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Now, how are you campaigning? How can people, learn more about you and what you're trying to do? So for right now, I'm mostly doing like a social media platform. I live off campus, so I don't have access to like any of the dorm rooms or anything. But I think like beginning of next week, once elections get closer, I'm gonna come more on campus and kind of like go and go out in the public and kind of like talk to students about what they're wanting
But right now it's mostly social media. I printed out a couple posters. They're up in the residence halls, but yeah, just like right now with everything, like the yellow status and everything, it's mostly social media right now.
Now you can vote for Alyssa and all of the other candidates starting on Tuesday at 8 a.m. and you can watch her at the debates on Sunday at 7 p.m.